Welcome to Dark Docs Digest. Today's a little impromptu. That's why you see me over here on my phone. I'm waiting for Jacob Engels. He has some big news pertaining to Scott Pressler. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. I'm on my phone right now. In the meantime, I wanted to give you guys an update. I see one person's already tuned in. It's great. Please share the link down below. You can also follow us on X at Sacred Owls Unite. And darkdocs.com is back. We're working on a bunch of stuff, bringing on some new talent, and it's going to be really great. So definitely keep an eye out for that. Sacred Owls is also back, sacredowls.com. We are working on new material, live shows, bunch of new stuff. So definitely keep an eye out on sacredowls.com. We're also working with resistthegrove.com. That is a activist group out of California who is archiving all kinds of stuff pertaining to the Bohemian Grove, Bohemian Club, and they have been out there protesting at the gates of the Bohemian Grove for over a decade now. And we did a film on it called Sacred Owls. They are here to save the world. You can definitely check that out. We're going to be repressing the DVDs for that and Blu-rays that will be available soon at darkdocs.com. Our buddy Noah is also doing great work over at thegovernmentwantsyoudead.com, and he's archiving all kinds of stuff. We're working on shopping carts, new merchandise, t-shirts. If you like what we're doing and you've been following me over all these years, or you're new, welcome. I'm Christian Coffins, the frontman of Sacred Owls and the founder of darkdocs.com. And our purpose is to dox the dark, to expose corruption, to shed light on the darkness. And that's what we do here at darkdocs.com. We are affiliated with alexjoneslive.com. As some of you know, InfoWars is currently going through a bunch of legal situations right now. I'm sure some of you heard that The Onion is taking over, and Tim Heidecker from Tim and Eric, Awesome Joke, Great Job, and Tom Goes to the Mayor, Adult Swim fame, is going to be the new Alex Jones. They're going to get sued because they have already been releasing InfoWars merchandise with the rainbows and the onions and stuff. They do not have the copyright to that. So they're going to be in a lot of court battles. They're in trouble, So definitely check out alexjoneslive.com. alexjoneslive.com is the new infowars.com. thealexjonesstore.com/darkdocs is our affiliate link for thealexjonesstore.com. When you use that /darkdocs, it gives darkdocs.com 10% of the profits from your purchase, and that goes into all of our infrastructure as a smaller media satellite of infowars.com. I talk to Harrison and all of them on a regular basis, and this is going to be huge. We're going to do great things. Alex Jones Network is going to be awesome, and we're doing our own thing, but just as we always have, we're supporting them over at thealexjonesstore.com and Alex Jones Live. Let's see. I'm going to check on Jacob Engels here, see how we're doing. So I'm going to jump off for a second, so bear with me. And check signal ahead to. All right, so Jacob's going to be on with us in about 10 minutes. So in the meantime, I'm going to fill the space and talk about a couple of current events. So as some of you might have heard, Tulsi Gabbard has left the Trump administration, as well as another DNI. She's saying it's because of her husband's cancer, which I'm sure he has cancer. I'm sure that's not a lie, but it's obviously a cover story because apparently her offices were raided by the FBI earlier this week, and they took a bunch of stuff on MK Ultra and the JFK files. So that's kind of concerning. And I've always had a pulse on MK Ultra and how the U.S. government is weaponizing the media, using propaganda, using CIA tactics in order to persuade the public, or sway public opinion rather. And I feel like it goes way further. Of course, MK Ultra, they were drugging people, mind control, all of that kind of stuff. I mean, they don't call it programming for nothing on television. But it's going to be interesting to see how all that turns out. Of course, all of us here that are America first and supported Trump because he promised us no new wars. He promised us that we were going to have tariffs instead of the Internal Revenue Service and income tax. And promises made, promises not kept. So I think it's really important that we continue to hold his feet to the fire and let him know that, like, hey, we supported you, but you totally turned your back on everything that you promised and everything that you campaigned on in 2016 and in 2020 and in 2024. So I think it's definitely time for us to move forward. Let's face it, Trump is 78. And thank you for your service. I think overall, Trump has done great things for the United States. Can you imagine a United States where Donald Trump did not win in 2016 and instead, the Democrats won? Where would we be now? We would be so much further behind. COVID probably would have happened under a Hillary Clinton ticket. 4 years earlier. So he definitely derailed the New World Order plan. And let's face it, they tried to kill him multiple times. And whatever they did this last time in this second presidency, they got him. They got him by the short and hairies one way or another, whether it's blackmail, is he in the Epstein files? I don't know. But I have no evidence. I've been looking into the Epstein files since before it was even on the news. But we've been covering all of that since 2018. So darkdocs.com has been on the pulse of all of this as far as satanic ritual abuse, human trafficking. We have great guests that come on all the time and now are part of the Dark Docs network. And we're very grateful to have people like Emmy Frost, who is going to be coming back after 7 years. The last time we had Emmy Frost on for an interview was in 2019, and she just reached out to me today. She has big news. There's a lot going on involving all kinds of people. She's in touch with Corey Feldman, who, of course, is a victim of all of this pedophilia, Hollywood Babylon, all of this stuff. So we're definitely going to see if we can get him on and many others. So please, again, if you like these kinds of broadcasts and you like what we're doing here at darkdocs.com, you can support us at thealexjonesstore.com/darkdocs. Soon we're going to have our online shop at darkdocs.com/shop as well. A lot of great shirt ideas and stuff. And we have a lot of back catalog stuff from the old darkdocs.com, and those t-shirts and merchandise items are going to be seriously clearanced out right when we open the shop. I mean, we're talking about $5 shirts and stuff. So definitely keep an eye on darkdocs.com/shop in the near future for great deals on really cool t-shirts that expose the New World Order agenda. I'm going to go ahead and check on our participants. Yeah. Jacob, he should be here anytime soon. What else is going on? I'd like to also talk about what's going on in California. Right now, the crime is so bad in some of these communities in California that the neighbors and the citizens are erecting raised metal flower beds with concrete, dirt, and wood and all sorts of things, blocking their own streets from people being able to drive down because of all of the drive-by shootings that are happening recently. And the police are actually giving the residents a hard time about doing this. And I mean, it seems like kind of not really the right solution. But what do you do? What would you do in the situation when you're having gangbangers shooting up your streets and your houses all the time and the cops aren't doing anything about it? What would you do to take matters into your own hands? Let me know down in the comments, because I really don't know what else. I mean, they can't have guns. It's California. So what do you do? I mean, yeah, you can have a gun, but like, it has to be disassembled and the bullets in the glove compartment. It's ridiculous in California. I remember when we went out there to go protest with Resist the Grove at Bohemian Grove. I looked into all of like the gun laws and reciprocity, and California was the only one where we were like, oh, we got to do all these things even to bring the guns into the state. Of course, it's only an issue if you get pulled over and they search your vehicle. But we were minding our P's and Q's, definitely making sure that we weren't getting arrested in California. That would be a total dumpster fire. Where is Jacob? Let's see. Da, da, da. It's running a little bit behind. So thank you for your patience, everybody, and tuning into this broadcast. Again, I'm Christian Coffins from Sacred Owls and darkdocs.com. We are back, and we're actually working on a new studio as we speak. I just put my chair together. We're getting some new desks in and monitors and all that fun stuff. So, all of your donations and all of your funding over the past year has definitely helped out. We could really use more. Where we still have to set up internet and do all this at our new location. So we're working on a shoestring budget here, doing this just out of the love of mankind and wanting the best for everybody, and exposing corruption is the way to go. Here in the United States, we are America first. We are America only. And no, that's not racist. You can love your country. Why can't we love our country? I'm Hispanic and American, and I'm proud to be an American. Even with our checkered past, we're the best house in the worst neighborhood, and we're doing our best to, try to improve that house and give it a paint job and fix the plumbing, because it's, the toilets are overflowing, and we got roaches running around everywhere, and I got hairy legs. No, but seriously, we need to all band together. And yes, that includes left, right, center, because that's another thing that's coming up right now, is that when I say they, the Republican neoconservative rhino establishment is trying to call Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes left wing for going against Trump. I'm going to repeat that. You have people in the White House right now saying that Tucker Carlson, former Fox News, now Tucker Carlson Network, friends with Alex Jones, friends, with all of the Jacob entered the chat. Fantastic. Let's add him to the studio, add him to the stage. Mr. Jacob Engels, how you been?
Partner.
Hey, man.
One second, my friend.
Sure. Of course, Jacob Engels, mini Roger Stone, maybe not anymore. Maybe we'll get some more information on that. Today's topic we're talking about is we're praying for Pressler. Hashtag pray for Pressler. So there's some new news regarding Scott Pressler and early vote action. What do you got for us, Jacob?
Well, I'm just making sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay, great. Do I need this thing, or is this not helping? I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, it's not doing anything. I think the microphone is coming from your laptop or
Yeah, see, ladies and gentlemen, this is very interesting. Go out and you get stuff like this. So you get this DJI stuff. It looks really cool, right? Nice box, a little case. But let's play the technical game here. So I'm going to go right here to where our sound is. We're going to change it to DJI mic. Can you hear me?
yeah.
See? But then I can't hear you. So there's a discrepancy here, boys and girls. iPhone microphone here. We're going to turn this one on.
Okay, wait. I think it's working now. Can you put it up to your mouth again?
When you're not an influencer and you don't play these games, turn this one off. Night-night, Mike. See? Okay. Now can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can I hear you?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Let's change it. Let's turn this one on. Let's pair it. Let's...
No, nothing. Yeah, no audio now. See, this is exactly why we need your help. So we can get good equipment that works so we can bring this information to you. So please support us at thealexjonesstore.com/dark docs. No, nothing. Oh, you're muted. You're muted. You got to hit the mute button. There you go. Hello? Yeah, there you go. There you were muted.
Now I'm going to play this game right here. And this is, again, this is a lesson in technology. I did go to school for computer science, by the way. So it shouldn't be this hard. So we're going to press this little button here. And you see a little button to turn on. Okay? So now, pray tell, we're on, right? And so just bear with us. And now I'm going to pair us. So bear with me, guys and gals, because this should pair right there. I should still be able to hear you, but I can't, and I'm not even seeing the stuff go on. So we're going to be done playing around with this because it is insurmountably annoying. So yes, we are going to get to pray for Pressler, Scott Pressler. We discussed this on the program many, many weeks ago, actually months ago, about the demonic phallus and Brother Pressler being possessed. We even had a priest from Lebanon sent a message to me through WhatsApp talking about the two demons that have taken hold of Mr. Pressler through, a certain cavity. We'll just say that. But before we get to that, I did send you an interesting tweet. Could we go ahead and play that first before we get into the kind of deep, dark stuff?
So I'm doing this on my phone, and there's like no way for me to play clips or anything. I figured let's just do like a conversation this time around, and then next time we'll hopefully be able to have clips and things like that.
All right, and then next time, hopefully, I'll figure out this pesky little thing. But lesson, ladies and gentlemen, I've got this to work 1 out of 5 times, and it was advertised as idiot proof. But so there was a clip from a debate with the congressional candidates running in North Florida, particularly Evan Power, who we've talked about on this show, the current chairman of the Republican Party of Florida, an individual who's running for Congress. I believe it's in Florida's 1st congressional district, North Florida. This encompasses Tallahassee all the way across just the northern part of the state, about right there. And then you have Matt Gaetz's old district that is about right there. So Mr. Power, who we've exposed for corruption in his dealings at the Republican Party of Florida, financial crimes, sexual humiliation, ritual humiliation, he saw it fit, Christian, to say in a debate his opening statements. I'm Evan Power, and I'm running for Congress because I want this country to be the country I grew up in. I want to wake up next to my kids and be able to feel that they're safe going out in the world. And a little bit about me, ladies and gentlemen. I stood toe to toe with Andrew Gillum. I took body blow and body blow and traded body blow and body blow with Andrew Gillum.
There it is.
Wrong. Do you understand that, Christian? Who got the shit kicked out of him by Andrew Gillum's rabid mob on 10 occasions, including Obama's Secret Service? Me. And
Okay.
this guy's running for Congress, claiming that he traded body blow and body blow with Andrew Gillum. The only thing this corpulent porcine did was appear on local access TV a few times, some really poor news hits, and wrote an op-ed or two. He was a local mayor and chairman of the Leon County Republican Party. And if you understand that, ladies and gentlemen, Tallahassee, Florida, Leon County, that is kind of like being chairman of the Miami-Dade Republican Party. But at least down there, you have a good swath of Cubans and patriots and freedom lovers. Up there, it's just a whole bunch of pencil dick Democrat establishment bureaucrats working in the state capitol. So I really want to know why he thinks he can launch his congressional campaign on the backs of myself and hundreds of patriots across the state who I worked with month after month to expose Andrew Gillum. We got the shit kicked out of us. We exposed the pedophilic staffer. We exposed his ties to George Soros. We went down there after we thought we won on election night when they tried to steal it with Brenda Snipes. And he's doing that on our backs. That, ladies and gentlemen, shows you the true consequence of a man. He's insane in the membrane, if we remember that song. And, you know, he said he wanted to bring more Florida to Washington. Well, I don't know that that's necessarily going so well. I have had my disagreements. We've talked about it with President Trump, but more
I
so,
mean,
it's a
Florida is a swamp, so I don't know if like it needs more swamp in the swamp, you know.
right. And that was kind of my takeaway from that. And especially with you have James Blair and Susie Wiles, who are running a huge corruption racket through September Group, through Stampede Consulting, through Silver Bullet Strategies, Elsewhere Media. And they're planning to grift their way on down to DC. Since we last spoke, Susie Wiles had another bout of cancer and she had to just step away. Well, I'm not in the mood to really debate about her health, but being in Florida politics for quite some time, um, Susie has done this at pivotal moments in her career when she feels that it's not going so well or it's a tough time. She's got fibromyalgia. Oh, she's got osteoporosis. Oh, she's got twat cancer. And this time, the cancer lasted all of about, I think, a month. And she had to step down and return home, where she thought she was going to become chairwoman emeritus of the Republican Party of Florida, the grand woman of the party, or grand grandmother of the party. And Christian, it was a miraculous healing that occurred because once she touched down and felt that warm Florida sand and saw the beautiful beach in Ponte Vedra, Susie, when she saw the palm trees, when she smelt the sweet summer air, Susie was healed. And miraculously, there were rubber chicken dinners, there were award luncheons, International Women's Club meetings issuing her awards, and she became the best chief of staff ever to have served a president in the history of the United States of America. And she was asked a question, and she's nicknamed the Ice Queen. She was asked a question. What would you consider your proudest crowning accomplishment, Susie? And she couldn't even bring herself, Christian, to smile or have a face of endearment during that process. It was my greatest accomplishment was that during my cancer battle, I was able to serve the president and still fight for the president. I mean, these people know no bounds, Christian. I mean, what's your take on that? There's always just Pam Bondi's got cancer. Everybody's got a twat cancer or a fibromyalgia or a broken nail. I mean, what is this? And then you have somebody like a Thomas Massey, who people might feel a little too libertarian for their taste, but the way they did him dirty with all of that APAC money on Miriam Adelson was egregious. And
I mean,
then,
that right there, it needs to be outlawed. APEC needs to be registered with FARA. End of discussion. This has gone on way too long. What they did to Thomas Massey was disgusting. But frankly, our founding fathers set up this government so that way, someone could, a farmer could come and serve as a senator and then go back, and then that's it. You're done. The one
yeah,
term, couple months, you're in, you're out. None of these career politicians, because that's exactly, oh, I'm sick, so I can't do my job. Oh, but like, don't fire me. No, it's a privilege to be a public servant and to serve the people of the United States. And if you don't feel that way, then you shouldn't be a public official. It's just that I'm sorry, I don't even like the term public official, because there's nothing official about. They are public servants. They serve us. We are the boss. They are the employee. We can fire them, and we
yeah,
hire them. We fire them. We are Donald Trump. We say you're hired, you're fired, and they work for us. It's that simple.
yeah. And to think about this, we have to hear about the trials and tribulations of James Blair and how tough it is on him to live on a meager salary of $220,000 a year in the capital city, and
Yeah,
how horrible it is, and how he's barely scrounging by.
the
And
little it's
yeah,
violent.
and James Blair, are you listening, James? I mean, do I look in the camera here, there? Where am I looking? Am I finding?
You
Oh,
got to look into the all-seeing eye right there.
look into the all-seeing eye.
It's
Wait,
always watching.
I think I see him right there. He's such a small, diminutive man, and I call him Penis Head Blair. But James, would we like to talk about? There's an interesting report up at penpostnews.com, penpostnews.com, and it talks about the grift of Susie Wiles and James Blair. James, do we want to talk about your side piece, Mackenzie Mahler, Tampa Corcoran campaign? Remember the Governor's Club when you told me about that in 2018? And you told me what a hot piece of ass she was? Well, you have a wife and children, James. Do we want to talk about that? Do we want to talk about the love child? Do we want to talk about how you pawned her off to the DeSantis campaign before you and Susie knifed the governor in the back to jump to the Trump campaign in 2024? And now she's stuck in this malaise of sugaring other men to stay alive on the meager allowance that you're giving her when you're making hand over fist tens of millions of dollars. And when the issue of the love child came about, James, and I'll put these on. I'll do the Biden. I'll do the
I was going to say, I haven't seen your eyes in months, so it's
yeah.
nice to see your eyes again.
Thank you. I appreciate
You
that.
know,
Well, now we just have to
windows
get
to
you
the
started.
soul, I tell you.
Yes. Well, I think I'm told I
There
have
you go. They're nice
relatively
eyes. What
nice
are those,
eyes.
hazel?
Those are hazel eyes. Thank you.
There you go.
We'll keep them off. I did my Joe
I got the
Pesci.
boring brown ones.
Boring brown. Oh, a brown? Are you a brownoid? Oh, God, it's all just so stupid. It's meant to divide us. But back to James. When Susie Wiles learned of the love child, she at first encouraged more of an allowance. But then, as things got tougher heading into the midterms, it became a quote unquote problem that needed to be terminated, quote unquote, from this article on penpostnews.com, penpostnews.com. So these are the people that are leading the party, advising the president. These are the people that advised the president that his polling numbers were suffering because Greg Bovino, the commander at large for the U.S. Border Patrol and Customs, ICE enforcement, was being too aggressive and it could hurt him in the midterms. Now, do we see what's going on in New Jersey? It's mayhem, it's chaos. There's no strong leadership, there's no general at the helm. And that's due to the decision making of James Blair and Susie Wiles. And there's something afoot in the Carolinas, quite frankly, too. We'll break it right here on Dark Docs. Christian Coffin's special guest, Jacob Engels, with the beautiful hazel eyes. In the Carolinas, there's something going on right now. There has been a movement by Blair and by his new compatriot, Stephen Miller of America First Legal. And you know what, Stephen, since you started having male pattern baldness and baldness at like 19, this is what, I'm 34. We're about the same age, I actually think. This is what a full head of hair looks like, buddy.
That's just mean. You're being mean.
I am being
Jacob
a
is
little mean.
being mean.
I'm being a
mean
little
girl.
bit mean. I'm being a mean girl. I'm sorry. I'm gay. I hate to do it. But look, guys, you're telling candidates that in order to get the Trump endorsement, that they must not only hire James Blair's team, but I thought James Blair left Rapid Loop Consulting, his old consulting firm, to be ethical and moral and just advise the president and serve on a pittance of a salary. No, see, James is awaiting a huge payday when he comes back to grift. And that's in addition to the $400 million that him and Susie are in control of heading into the midterms. So they're telling candidates, Christian, that in order to get the president's endorsement, which they are selling left and right, and we all know the president doesn't like that. The president doesn't like his name, his being to be whored out by people that are his subordinates and people that aren't doing it for the greater good. They're not even doing it for shits and giggles. They're doing it for out and out greed. So they must hire James Blair's team. And see that behind me, James? That's called fuck you. They must hire James Blair's team, and then they must hire Stephen Miller from America First Legal to do compliance and provide legal counsel, because Stephen Miller is scaring all of these candidates into thinking that they're going to be sued by the radical left and the media, and they really need him. It's all a grift, ladies and gentlemen, and it's emblematic of what Donald Trump set out to stop when he first got elected and when he got back into the White House 2 years ago. So I ask you this, Christian, is this what we voted for?
No, I mean, just as I was covering at the beginning of this broadcast, we need to hold Trump's feet to the fire, just like Alex Jones has been doing, just like Tucker Carlson has been doing, just how Nick Fuentes has been doing. And now you have people in the White House calling them leftist or the left for going against Trump. When, and I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to rope us all, anyone going against Trump is the left, and then they're going to go after the left as far as domestic terrorism and all these things. So they're trying to set that up, and we're not falling for it. I mean, I'm not right wing. I never was right wing. I was always kind of an independent. I only voted Republican, for Trump in 2020. I didn't even vote for him in 2016. But what it comes down to is, if you believe in the United States and our sovereignty, our Declaration of Independence, our Bill of Rights, then whether you consider yourself more left or right or middle or independent or unaffiliated, we all need to band together and say, we're anti-war, and we're anti-police state, and we're anti-data centers, and we're anti-destroying the environment, but also not destroying mankind and all of our necessities in order to worship the earth or anything like that either. We need to stick together, and we need to get rid of a lot of these politicians. And I mean, I don't mean like offing them or anything, but like we need to do something. And I'm not exactly sure what that is yet. I've been thinking about this pretty hard all month, and we need to start brainstorming and reaching out to different people and reaching across the aisle, reaching to places that we typically would stay away from. Because, I mean, as you've been exposing, Jacob, MAGA is broken. All of these right-wingers are grifters. It's disgusting. and they're all just doing it for clout. They're all just doing it for money,
For
and
the
they really
gram, you know.
for the gram, yeah, for access to the White House, for a book deal to get on to Fox News. No, what we need to do is
So
you can
I'm
actually
trying.
do that. I see. I can't do that. My hair
See,
is too wild. I can't. That's
this is the
cool,
first
man.
time. I don't mean to. I
You
just
look like
learned
the
this
Pringles
today.
guy.
Yeah, I just learned this today. Pringles, Engels. Yeah, that was fun in high
Oh,
school.
you know what? Now that I'm looking
Yeah.
at, you could definitely pass for Salvador Dali. You should
Oh
do
God.
it for Halloween sometime. That'd be fun.
Oh, there we go. And I only do this. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I mean,
No,
this is the performative stuff. We're stuck doing. These people are doing things like this. The Ashley Sinclair. Are you ready to get ready with me? Business. And at the end of the day, we've got a country to save, ladies and gentlemen. We're not out of the woods. So do it for the gram. Cool. But you better damn well do it for other reasons and show some goddamn results. And that brings us to Brother Pressler. I've been thinking about this, and that's why we did the whole Pray for Pressler uh, concept of the show tonight that we're finally getting to, because we really do need to pray for him. We've talked about the demonic phallus that's been inserted inside of him. The priest from Lebanon discussed two demons, potentially that he thinks Mr. Pressler is being uh, possessed by. And at the end of the day, I'm working with a very talented web designer, and there's going to be an online call to action, a online prayer chain, if you will, kind of like your parents used to do on AOL and Yahoo and Hotmail, or like they do in church, whatever denomination. I'm sure. I mean, I know in Catholic Church we have a segment at the end where you offer prayers to people in the congregation who might be going through a hardship, and that's really what this website is going to be all about: is gathering Catholics of good meaning and good faith, and other Christians of good meaning and good faith. And even if you believe in the flying spaghetti monster or whatever the hell, this man needs help. I mean, he's looking more sickly by the day. I can't tell if it's him or it's Lauren Boebert, or if it's Lauren Boebert or if it's Scott Pressler. There's something that goes on when you go down to Mar-a-Lago. They talk about Mar-a-Lago face, but it's this draining.
really interesting.
You know what I mean,
I haven't
though?
heard this. And it's funny because I always hear Alex Jones talking about, I don't go down to Mar-a-Lago because, I don't like doing any of that stuff. That's not my thing. I like being here in the studio and reaching millions of people, and I've always wondered, like, was he invited or was he not invited? And he's just kind of, I mean, that doesn't sound like him, but maybe there is a reason why Alex Jones is staying away from Mar-a-Lago. Maybe he has
I
been
do.
invited a bunch of times, and he's like, "No, I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid. Even though
Yeah,
my last name is Jones, I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid."
Bill, I mean, look, you did investigations into Bohemian Grove, just like Alex, and I'm sure that you felt a certain energy when you were doing that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, well, definitely Bohemian Grove. It's on like the intersection of a bunch of ley lines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if you look into like the supernatural and stuff, I mean,
Well,
that's
well,
where it's where the veil is the thinnest and stuff and all that.
yeah,
But I
it's
mean,
it's
you drive up there and immediately you feel like your heart starts pounding, and it's just intense. And then there's an energy, and it's negative. I mean, it's something else. I've never experienced anything like it.
well, and it's
And you
it's
know
like
something? I did go to Mar-a-Lago the day after the raid, and I interviewed like Blacks for Trump and things like that. And
oh,
I gotta
Maurice.
say, I mean, yeah, those guys are a trip. But like, it was again, like, it was a different feeling, but it was a weird feel. Like, I didn't know what to make of that vibe there. And I don't know, there's something odd to that place. And maybe it's the whole like Epstein juju of like West Palm Beach and things like that. I don't know,
Well, I
bunch of
think
skeletons.
Yeah, I think though what you hit with what you just said about fault lines. I remember when I was going to Catholic school at Everest Academy. This was a Legionaries of Christ, Regnum Christi, traditionalist Roman Catholic school. And when we were in theology class, I remember Father Alfonso, and this is like seventh grade, mind you. It was a little heavy at seventh grade, but talking about whether it's fault lines or state lines or county lines, even if these are artificial barriers created by government, talking about the concentration of satanic and demonic activities that happen, because it is like piercing the veil. And we get into the whole discussion of as above, so below. And that you find yourself right in the middle there where you're in this. Best way I could describe it for people who have seen, Insidious, you're in the other, I think they call it, or the ether might be a good term for people
Yeah.
to hang on to.
Or
And
Stranger Things, it's the upside down.
the upside down, yeah. And with what's going on at Mar-a-Lago, I think I've just heard so many things about people that get down there. And Ashley Sinclair, look, I'm going to have to give it to her. I watched her on a podcast called I've Had It podcast
All
with
right.
these two liberal women. And she discussed how as soon as she got there the first time, and she only went a couple of times, she said, but as soon as she got there the first time, she was immediately being told, you have to go get this Zimmerman dress. You have to go talk to Lara Trump's spray tan person. You have to go do this,
Mhm.
that. And she described it akin to putting on a skin suit, a costume,
Yeah,
a
sure.
and so
Well, I mean, as you were describing that, it felt like an Eyes Wide Shut when it's like to go to that party, you have to have a tuxedo with a black cloak and a mask, and it's like a very
yeah,
specific thing in order to be presentable for such a ritual.
yeah, and there's something else. We'll tack back to Mr. Pressler here for a second. I know I've been pretty hard on him, and uh, I've been going to church now 3 times a week since we last spoke, and
Oh wow.
I've been trying to get a lot of that negativity just out of me, because it doesn't help my soul, my
No.
well-being. And one of the things that really struck me is I tried kind of the tough brotherly love, if you will, with him. I tried the public shaming. I tried the kind of the embarrassment of exposing his financial misdeeds and some of his other lies. But we live in a society with no shame. So that didn't work. So we have to meet people where they're at. And I truly believe that every one of us can find their way, whether it's through God. I would hope it's through God and the one true church, in my opinion, the Catholic Church. But however people find themselves spiritually. So that's what I've been trying to do. That's what the priest counseled me on, is to maybe try the power of prayer with him and try and get a group of people together, even if it's online, to send in well wishes and send in positivity, because his affectations have become increasingly more aggressive and nasty. I mean, if you don't do this, it's not the person I first met in 2017, to be quite honest. He was nice. He was a volunteeristic person. He was kind of like a guy who would give you the shirt off his back, and was running around helping Act for America with Brigitte Gabriel and the March Against Sharia in 2017, and then even volunteering at American Priority Conference in 2019, the first one they had in Washington, D.C. at the Marriott, there right outside of town. And it's just become increasingly nasty. I mean, I get reports almost every day about people discussing if they cross him, even in a sideways comment in a private Facebook group, or a tweet that's perceived not to be overwhelmingly 300% in support. Not only is he upset personally, he enlists other people to castigate and kind of do what the Amish do, a shunning politically of them, and that just drips of megalomania and demonic spirit. Again, not the person I once knew. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to do is use the power of prayer here. And
Yeah, I mean, we definitely need to pray for our enemies. It doesn't mean we want, to invite them into our house. Like they are a threat. But like the whole point of Dark Docs, of course, is to, like I was saying earlier, dox the dark. We shed light on the darkness, and whether it's a Republican or a Democrat, if there's corruption, if there's a crime, we're going to look into it and we're going to expose it to shed light on it, and there needs to be accountability. We need law and order. These people are out there stealing taxpayer dollars, doing God knows what with it to destroy this country and line their pockets. In the meantime, we need swift penalties. We need jail time.
yeah,
And
we do, and when you say jail time, that doesn't necessarily have to mean a physical jail like people think. That could be political jail. Like you were bad, you were misleading the movement, so now you're in timeout. There are going to be some adults in the room. I hate using that term because I'm like the biggest 34-year-old man child. I'm a goof ass, and I'll always be that way. I mean, raised by my grandparents, but aside from that, my male influences are, you know, my shit kicking, um, foul mouthed MMA uncle who's also an optometrist, and your basic crazy uncle archetypes were the ones that were around me. So, and I think there's something about that childlike wonder and whimsy and teenage angst that men should keep throughout their lives because I think fosters camaraderie and friendship and the ability to cut loose and just we put a lot of weight on ourselves as men with families, and even if you're gay, there's still a certain societal expectation that you're supposed to step up as a man in a lot of situations just because of who you are uh, physiologically. So
sure.
I just I think we need to pray for these people. But back to even a James Blair and a Susie Wiles. I've known them for over a decade. I say close to 15 years. And when I was a teenage Republican and then college Republican and young Republican, the the people I see today in them, they're not just older facsimiles of who they once were. They've changed completely. They've been consumed by the grift. They've been consumed by this greed and this power that they've attained. And you know what? There's always spoils of war in politics. And Andrew Jackson, who I've got tattooed right there,
Oh,
um,
I didn't know
he
that.
he was the last president to really employ the idea of the spoils of war in politics, meaning you know, I'm going to select people in my cabinet who are my friends that I trust and that help me get elected, and I will reward them. And I will tell you straight to your face, I'm going to give them the railroad contract. I'm going to give them this. I'm going to give them that. But by God, if they don't deliver, I'll be the first person to shit can their ass and kick them out and bring somebody in who will deliver. But
Right.
now in politics, we've got all these rules about lobbying this and register this, and it gives people this false sense of security that because it's registered and legal, that somehow it's moral and dignified, and it's the
Now
exact
we need to
opposite.
get rid of all lobbies, not just foreign lobbies. There definitely should be no foreign lobbies, but these special interests here in the United States, it's no, no. Again, we're the boss.
Yep.
We are hiring employees to do tasks for us.
Yep.
And we don't need these corporations, religious organizations, nonprofit organizations, on and on. Fuck all of you. You're done.
Yeah.
Bye. No. You want money? Get it like how we do, raise funds, open an online shop, sell merchandise, sell supplements, do whatever the hell you have to do to make money. PBS, sell coffee
Uh,
mugs,
and,
whatever the hell.
and if you don't succeed in that, I mean, I don't know. Like these people are acting like drug dealers. They're acting like thugs. I mean, it reminds me of that that song off of Young Jeezy's Thug Motivation 101 album. I want to say 2004. And then what? And then what? It's always and then what? Uh, you know, and it's never enough. It's never enough. And I'm okay. Grift all you want. Just deliver on the promises you made to the American people, for God's sake. Because guess what? We're a pretty forgiving group of people. And if I had to
True.
sit there, if you and I had to sit there and the millions, hundreds of millions of people in this country had to sit there and say, you know what? Kushner grifted, Eric Trump grifted, Trump Jr. grifted, this person grifted, but I can put food on the table. Gas prices are low. I'm getting a Trump tax cut. I'm getting this. I'm getting that. My life is fundamentally better. My children are safe. Schools are great. Roads are paved. Lights are on. Society is functioning. Our communities are operating at full tilt in a good way. Guess what? I bet you would find 99% of Americans, Republican, Democrat, wouldn't care if you stole to China on your way out the door like the Clintons did. Won't matter because
Literally.
we're all succeeding. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's another issue I kind of wanted to talk about is you have these local races. People don't think about local races a lot. Everything's become so nationalized in Washington, right?
Yeah, it
So
starts with local. You know, the grassroots is local. Mainstream is downstream from the grassroots. You know, that's how it really
yeah.
works. So
So
go to your city council meetings, go to your school board meetings,
yes. And
run for
just to
city council.
yes. So
Once I get my shit together, I'm thinking about running here in Central Florida. So
you should.
you're
You should.
hearing
You know
you're
what?
hearing it here first. Coffins for America.
Coffins for America. You know what, Christian? Um, this is a good. You gave a perfect segue, and we're going to use this sign once again, right here, and let me explain it. There's an individual by the name of Maribel Cordero Gomez. She got elected Orange County Commissioner, District 4, in
Hmm.
2018. I was the only one in the media that stood up to her because it was Hispanic woman, it was a Democrat leaning district, it's Puerto Rican, and so it was just considered a done deal. But then I got a tip that her son and his paramour, so Eric Gomez and Patricia Schultz, I believe her name was, they stole over $100,000 in jewelry from this girl's parents. And they took that money, or they took that jewelry, pawned it, okay, and got, I think about $30,000. You know how pawn shops are. And it was really sad because it was, family heirlooms, old coins, really cool stuff. Not just like, oh, there's a Rolex, you can go get it, Mall at Millennia again if you need one. And they proceeded to go to the Ritz-Carlton for 2 weeks, rack up a bill of $14,000, trash the hotel room. And that I'm not even upset about, criming and criminals gonna crime, whatever we want to say. But they left two beautiful pit bulls locked in a cage with no food or water.
That's despicable.
They starved to death. A
Bury him under
rabbit,
the jail.
a rabbit nearly starved to death. And somebody might say, well, that's her son. Why does this matter? Well, who bailed the sick fuck out? She did. You're my child, and I get a call from the jail, and that's what you did. You're disowned. I'd say firing squad. I don't want to see them ever again because you don't treat dogs like that. You don't treat animals like that. I mean, I'm kind of
Anybody, anything, yeah.
anything like that. I'm kind of a hippie. If there's a spider in my room or in my house, I just kind of like get it and put it
Oh,
outside.
spiders are great. They eat the roaches and the
They eat the roaches,
mosquitoes, and
yeah. But you know
yeah.
what I mean? I'm not into like doing that kind of stuff. I got a pretty kind heart. And past that, Maribel not only bailed her son out, um, and it's on centralfloridapost.com, and you just search Maribel, Maribel. It's on my Twitter too. Um, I mean,
Yeah, it's rough.
to see those dogs like that,
Yeah.
and the way they found them in that cage, um, they were laying on each other, starved to death. And what kind of human could do that so that they could go party at the Ritz Carlton? And Maribel, in the weeks following, and not only bailed him out, but was bragging about how her son bought her a brand new luxurious BMW. Her son, who had been unemployed up until that time for many years, and on a crime spree, um, and now she's running for clerk of court. Are you kidding me? That's the measure of a human that the Democrats are putting forward. Rick
Oh, I'm
Singh.
not surprised. I mean, they're completely despicable and they have nothing but disdain for mankind, for animal. Well, I mean, I know a lot of Democrats that, I like my dogs more than people, and or like the cat ladies and things like that. What really gets my goat is, living in buildings over the years, all of these people with huge dogs living in a tiny little apartment, and you just take it out on a leash to go for a walk once a day, maybe, and then like hit it when it takes a crap on the floor because dogs are meant to be running around huge acreages of grass in the forest chasing rabbits. And it's disgusting. If you live in a building like that, don't have a dog. Like maybe
No,
have one of those like little pooches or something, but like I'm not even for that.
no, and I remember I had a friend in fifth grade who had a Great Dane, and I mean, we would come home from school. We'd walk home together. His name was Jacob, and I forget his sister's name, but they actually owned Cafe Tutu Tango at the time down there on Long
Oh,
Island.
yeah.
Um, but that big Great Dane, I mean, we came home from school, and that was about 2:30. Yeah, because General Hospital, my grandmother would watch, his mom would watch. It was on at 2 to 3. Um, and we'd go walk that dog for 5 miles, sometimes 6 miles around the neighborhood, loop and loop and loop and loop and loop. That's what all animals need. And so yeah, that disgusting behavior, abhorrent behavior for Maribel Gomez Cordero, or Cordero Gomez. I mean, nobody really knows what her name is.
Yeah, total scum. Well,
Well,
that's a gut wrenching story.
thankfully though, the Democrats, I wrote about this guy, Rick Singh. He's a first generation immigrant. He served in the U.S. Army. He is a free speech Kennedy era minded Democrat. He served as the property appraiser of Orange County for several terms. I'm back a little bit. And before it was cool to stand up to Disney, when he got in office, he said, Disney, Universal, SeaWorld, your tax breaks are over. You're going to pay the same tax that the citizens pay. And if you don't like it, I'll seize that damn property. And this is before all of the weird gender bending porno shit that people have become attuned to now with Disney. And he's running in that same race. And I've never voted for a Democrat in a partisan race. I think maybe a couple of times in a nonpartisan race. You vote for somebody who might be a registered Democrat, but had a pretty conservative lean. But I urge people to check him out. Rick Singh, he's running for clerk of courts too. and he's always been an honest broker, and he was such a thorn in the side of Disney that, I mean, it wasn't too long into his term that, allegations of corruption, allegation, so the one who's trying to bust the corruption then becomes the one accused of corruption and nefarious misdeeds. But he's an independently wealthy man. He has a successful business. Him and his wife are successful people. They have a beautiful family, and so it's kind of, in my estimation, he's a really, really good choice because it's Orange County, guys. Um, you're swamped with Democrats, except in certain very limited areas and cities, and locales. So I think he's a real, real winner. Um, and I guess we'll just end with Scott Pressler, and in the sense that, um, Mr. Pressler thinks he's running for RNC chairman. Get the hell out of here, buddy. You already have the black card. What? Black card, All American Express black card, girl. You can get whatever you like. I
I
don't
don't
want to
know. I
buy it.
mean, if David Hogg can be the president of the DNC, then who or chair or whatever, who's to say? But it's a clown show. The RNC, the Republicans, the DNC, the Democrats. I like holistic empire's take in the chat. I don't think we're going to be able to vote our way out of this. I hope you're wrong, but I think you're right. We have to continue being civil until it's time to be not so civil.
Yeah.
And but yeah, we gotta just support the good ones and out the bad ones. And
Well, and Christian, it's not just that. It's how do we even try to get ourselves out of this? Is turn off Fox News, turn off the
oh,
Daily Wire,
that's the
turn
first thing you
off
do.
turn off
Well,
Breitbart
everyone's
even.
already turning off the Daily Wire. You seen their numbers? I mean, they're they're plummeting.
Well, I mean,
It's
I was absolutely captivated by Benny Johnson trying to play Fortnite, to be quite honest.
oh,
Um,
he's doing that. That's
yeah, or
gross.
maybe next he's gonna play Roblox. Oops.
I'm sorry, adult men that like play online games, like it gives me the ick. It's
Yeah,
disgusting.
hey,
Man up, like go do something. Go mow the lawn. Build a birdhouse. Do something.
do
Like
something with your
playing video
hands, guy.
games. Get out of here with
Even
your gamers. Well, that about does it. I can't. Don't get me started. But yeah, it was
look,
great talking to you,
look right
Jacob.
here. Yeah,
What do you
so
got?
you say do something with your hands.
You
We'll
drew
just
that?
we'll just pick this up. This is kind of
We're getting a tour now.
yeah. This is kind of a weird look into my demented mind sometimes. But you see right
This is
there,
a
ladies and
rare
gentlemen,
inside look, people.
that looks like, I think maybe a third grader did it, but I had fun doing it. It de-stressed me. I was
Yeah,
for 30 minutes not thinking about the horrors of what's going on in this country, and even or go out and do something fun. Like I went out to this little secondhand store, and I found silly stuff like this. Look, it's a little teddy bear. God bless America. And I'm pining for my home state of Florida. And look what I found. I found this little thing. It's like a little wishing well, and it says Florida on it. Or, and these are all things that are like, $2. And then, this, it's like a little bell. It says Florida. Do something that isn't totally, completely consumed by the depravity and filth that we see right now in politics. I mean, and here,
absolutely.
we'll end it on a good note because I'm actually quite excited. Um, Bright Eyes is finally on tour again.
No,
And they put out some new music, so I'm thrilled about that.
nice.
And you know, it's just it's people do that too. Listen to music, learn how to play an
Yeah,
instrument. There's this cool thing I actually got. Let me find it real quick and I'll let everybody go. But I've got it here. 1 second. See, I'm kind of operating in a little bit of a tight space, ladies and gentlemen. And as you can see, this is like Christian. This is my chair. But you can see right here with this whole little speaker thing. Actually, my boyfriend got that and was putting it together. And this right here is an old like speaker thing that he pulled apart and put new internal things inside of it. But like, here's a fun thing. I don't know how to play it yet. I'm not going to torture everybody. But this is like a
Oh
like a
yeah,
little,
one of those placky things.
like a
Oh, they're
little
called.
wooden spoon thing.
Yeah.
Dude, you don't have to always just be making things. You don't have to be a great musician. You don't have to. Lord knows I'm not. I'm not obviously not a
Yeah.
great artist. But do something to free your mind.
Hmm. Go volunteer. Go
Yeah.
go do playing video games. But yeah, so get off the video games, people. Go save your country, and God bless America, and death to the New World Order, and all that good stuff. We're going to be working on, like I said, Dark Docs is back. Jacob, you have credentials, my friend, to
Oh God.
darkdocs.com. I sent you some logins, so please
Are you sure you want to do that?
go crazy. Oh,
That's
and
great.
also, before I forget, I want a complete list of all of your websites, like all these
Yeah.
crazy websites that you're doing. I want to link them all on the sidebar of Dark Docs. I'm going to be doing a lot this weekend with the website, and I'm working with Noah Westwind of thegovernmentwantsyoudead.com on merchandise. We're streamlining, doing. I'm still screen printing shirts and doing some original stuff, but we're also going to be doing some kind of printify stuff that he's looking into. I don't know. He's all excited about it. So I'm curious. Whatever it takes to get you guys products that you want and you need. With the least amount of effort on our part, so that way we can actually do things for you.
Yeah.
But
How about
definitely
this,
check out
Christian?
thealexjonesstore.com/dark docs. Lots of great supplements. Faraday cages. I just got mine. Hold on 1 second. This thing's amazing. They have another design right now, but yeah, look at this Faraday cage from thealexjonesstore.com. You got,
Oh, cool.
you got the lining in there and stuff. And I like that. I've never had a backpack like this where it's actually like a roll top and then it buckles on the side. That's pretty cool. Very simple. But they got supplements. Get the methylene blue. I'm sharp as hell, and I woke up at 5:30 this morning. I've been, I went to work at 7, got out early. I've been putting together furniture, and now I'm doing this. And now I'm going to continue putting together furniture. And all that energy comes from methylene blue from thealexjonesstore.com/dark ducks. I got to get you some of that stuff. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
We're also
Yeah.
doing the Zeolite, the Sheila G, Steam Moss with bladderwrack and burdock root. Great stuff. I'm loving these supplements. I'm feeling good, and I'm working harder than I ever have before. So definitely check all that stuff out. Any last words, Jacob?
Sure. There's this guy. It's called Good Lion TV on X. I don't know if you've seen him. And
No.
he's done some interesting documentaries on Tartaria and the Rothschilds.
Yeah, Tartaria. What do you think about that stuff? Was there a mud flood?
You know what? I think we're so out of our depths
Yeah.
in terms of, if we don't know what 90% of the ocean is, we haven't even mapped out 90% of the subterranean activities going on beneath the United States. Anything's game to me. But on
The
the topic
DUMBs,
of,
the deep underground military bases. We're going to rapid fire through some conspiracy theories. Is the Earth flat? I don't think so. I
I
think
don't
we're on a.
think
I'm a
so.
glober. I think we're on a globe. What
I
do you
think so
think?
too, but
Yeah. Okay.
I'm more interested in this idea of the hollow Earth theory.
Yeah,
And
that because it makes sense that there's like a sun in the middle of the earth, and then there's like kind of an as above, so below, right? So that means that there's like an upside down inside the earth, and then like their sky is the center of Earth, and they have their own. So maybe like to them it is a flat Earth. I don't know. I wasn't there. I haven't been. But like I love topics like that. And even the flat earth and stuff, I love debating those people because, it's important to look into things that sound absurd because, hey, 9/11 sounds absurd. And we know that that was
Yeah.
an inside job. It was, you know, a
Well, but
pretext.
also when people say you're stupid or you're crazy for even thinking about those things,
No.
what they're really telling you is to not have any intellectual curiosity.
Yes.
And that is why we're so dumb as a country, is because we don't have Socratic method, we don't have debates. It's just, I like this, I do this, therefore you're dumb if you don't like it. But let's end with this. Um, and I'm sorry, you know, I think since we talked, I invented this term called double jointed pussy. Sorry guys, but so you know, here's my double jointed. But I'm stretching my legs.
What is a double jointed pussy? What's a single jointed pussy?
I don't know. I just came up with it, and I use it to describe people like Susie Wiles and people who whine constantly, and it's always somebody else's fault. Main character syndrome, boomerist behavior. Oh, I also on Stu Peters called out Laura Loomer for her noxious nether region and everything that's going on down there. We don't know if it's a micro penis. We don't know if it's an enlarged grape clitoris. I think I'm the only person in the history of Stu Peters' network to get Stu Peters to visibly almost vomit, but then laugh within about a minute.
You
Um,
got to send me that clip.
yeah, and but back to your thing about you're doing screen printing and everything. How about we do this weekend? I've got a couple of ideas because I need to put my own website together and I need to come up with some branding for that. So let's make something fucking cool, dude, and
Yeah.
use it as like an example to show people what you can do, because that's the key point here, guys. We're running on the midnight oil. This is a shoestring operation,
That's
so
right.
it's always great when somebody like Christian has a a talent like that or an ability to provide you something in return for supporting the program, because then you don't feel like you're just buying, you know, a worthless trinket that you can go and get at Five Below. You're getting something that somebody put time, effort, and their heart into. And so let's do that. And with
Yeah.
that, I leave you all, and to all a good night. All right.
Indeed. This is Christian Coffins signing off. Thank you, Jacob Engels. Beware, take care. Darkdocs.com. Have a great night, everyone.
All right. Bye bye, guys.